wind and the rain have uprooted trees throughout the area. Those trees have sometimes brought down power lines with them. And of course, as we saw, there is some widespread flooding.
Tonight, our Ben Morris with more on how city crews are trying to keep up with the damage left behind by Mother Nature.
Around the city, we've been seeing a lot of this flooding. And now city crews are just working to clear these flooded areas, as well as cleaning up things like downed trees, debris, and filling potholes, along with a long list of other issues coming up from this storm. Crews barely getting a breather from the last round of storms, nearly finishing cleaning up over 125 calls for downed trees.
Our crews were able to clean up about 95% of that debris
before having to jump into action once again today.
We have 6 different crews out responding today. 4 of them are dealing with storm, any localized street flooding, pothole type issues. And then we have 2 crews responding to tree calls.
Though Public Works wasn't expecting a big flooding day with less leaves on the streets,
we are in good shape. We're on call 24/7 for any events or issues. And also, thankfully, we are now well past leaf season. Leaves have fallen from trees. They've all been cleaned up by our street sweeping program.
Unfortunately for all of us, it's been quite the opposite. Floods almost everywhere you look throughout the city. And flooding isn't the only problem area residents are dealing with. Several calls coming in for downed trees, like this one crushing a car on East Illinois Avenue. The county taking extra precautions today before even getting to that point, closing Kearney Park for fear the heavy wind would break off tree limbs and maybe knock over entire trees, putting the public in danger. The city of Fresno asked that if you see any area flooding or down trees, potholes, anything like that, that you call 311 or report it by using the Fresgo app. In Fresno, Ben Morris, KC24, local news that matters.
And let's take a live look now at the power outage map from PG&E in Fresno County, parts of Tulare County, and parts of Kings County. More than 800 customers are without power. Right now, crews are working to restore power to homes as quickly as they can.
And I think it goes without saying, but it's certainly not golf weather. But hey, look at this. This is a new hazard. Multiple trees down at Airways Golf Course near the airport. The ground has become so soggy that large trees like this are simply becoming uprooted, as we've shown you throughout the valley. It will be cart path only, if you will, at Airways for some time.
Boy, what a mess.
Yeah.
And the wind and rain have been toppling trees throughout the city since the storm first hit earlier this week.
It has created, of course, the big headache for city crews, but as Arette Rodriguez reports, it's also posing a great danger.
Rain and wind bringing trees to their knees across the valley. We were there as Fresno City crews cut up the massive tree that toppled Tuesday at First and Knees, shutting down the intersection and snarling traffic for hours. This is all that's left from one tree that nearly fell on this home in Fresno. It's just one of many trees that went down all over the city, crushing cars and damaging property. Tonight, we're talking about signs that weather-damaged trees could turn dangerous or deadly.
The tree was already severely leaning. Tree roots had a big decay on the bottom of the cavity of the tree. A lot of the roots were sticking out of the ground where the soil was already starting to move.
Joe Peralta, owner of Cut It Right Tree Trimming Services, says there are things you can do to prevent a tree from falling on your home.
When the wind does blow, it will just blow them over instead of, doing maintenance. Trimming helps out quite a bit. That way the wind and the air can blow through these trees other than just pushing them right over on top of the houses.
He says the biggest thing is to inspect trees in your yard for rotted roots, overgrown roots at the surface, and excessive leaning.
Roots are obviously going to tell you everything you want to know. If the tree doesn't look the same as it did the day before the windstorm, you have a problem.
Proof that when it comes to the danger of weather and fallen trees, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Rhett Rodriguez, KC24, local news that matters.